Welcome back to Geek Therapy Radio. I am your mental curator, Johnny Hemberger. Thanks for tuning in, and if you're listening to the podcast, ditto. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're watching this on YouTube, ditto again. I know you have no shortage of content to choose from on YouTube, so I truly, truly appreciate even your consideration in subscribing, because I know you certainly don't have to. So again, thanks for thinking about it, and thanks for subscribing if you do. Don't be a stranger. We're all geeks about something. Geek Therapy Radio is designed to welcome everyone to the oasis in this desert of politics. You know, we really do have more in common than that which the media would tell you drives us apart. I don't care whether you're black or white or Republican or Democrat. Doesn't matter. We love Star Wars. We love Star Trek. We love remote control airplanes and remote control cars and fast boats and fast cars and airplanes and astronomy and all sorts of geeky, cool things. So that's what Geek Therapy Radio is all about. Let's celebrate our inner geek. Let's share our geek things with each other. All right. I think it's time that we check in with Atari, specifically the controversial VCS that's slated for release this spring of 2019. The last time we discussed the VCS on Geek Therapy Radio was June of 2018, and honestly, I haven't thought much about it since then, beyond a passing curiosity if the project was still making any headway. And guess what? Turns out, it is. It's making some progress. So, let's discuss. Now, Atari released its earnings report this past December of 2018, and lo and behold, Atari made about $12.7 million. We're going to say some figures here, but I promise you it's brief. Atari made about $12.7 million in total earnings for the period ending in September of 2018. That's up 27% year over year. Operating income is also up 87% to about $2.5 million. And these are all converted from euros because Atari is now a French company. So yeah, operating income is up about 87% to about $2.5 billion. And shareholder equity spiked dramatically 194% to about $26.5 million US dollars. Okay, great. Numbers are fun. It's no surprise. Modern day Atari isn't pulling hundreds of millions of dollars like big dogs as EA, Electronic Arts and others. But that's not really the point I'm trying to make here. What is promising, to me at least, isn't even the fact that they've earned anything at all over the last earning period. The most curious number when you dig a little deeper is operating expenses. Specifically, research and development. From September 2017 to September 2018, R&D expenditures is up by around 90%. That means they're working on something, for sure. Obviously, it is no surprise to assume that the bulk of this R&D expense is going towards the VCS. And to me, this shows promise in plain black and white. That is not to say that the VCS won't suffer the same fate as past flops, like the ill-fated Ouya, or however you pronounce that. But I think, despite obvious market hurdles that I'll get into in just a moment here, Atari's revenue and spending habits over the past year at least shows that they are serious about bringing the VCS to market in earnest. So people saying that it's an outright scam? Doubtful. There is mounting evidence that it very well exists and should ship by the planned spring of 2019. So Atari goes so far as to say that not only will the VCS be released, but the VCS will impact earnings in its next fiscal year, ending in March of 2020. This further indicates, hopefully, that pending unforeseen influences, the VCS will ship by spring 2019, honoring the backers who have put up over $3 million of their own money to pre-order the VCS, which I still maintain pre-ordering is stupid. Make a company earn your money. Don't spend money with a company before you have a product. But that's up to you. If you have that much faith in it, I can't tell you what to do with your money. Anyways, again, in short, Atari, in its Atari and its shareholders are counting on spring 2019 release, not just release, but shipping of the VCS to directly impact its 2020 earnings report. So, yeah, they want to release it. They're planning on releasing it. They're spending money on R&D for something, so they're probably going to release it. So in light of this most recent update in earnings in the report, is my confidence in the VCS seeing the light of day increased in any way? Well, yeah, in short, I don't see any incentive for Atari's longevity not to ship the VCS. That is to say, there's no real incentive for Atari to scam us. Where my confidence wanes is in market viability. Will Atari sell enough VCSs to make the entire venture worthwhile? That, yeah, is yet to be seen, and here's why I'm skeptical. Forget the obvious fact that it will be going head-to-head with mainstream consoles from Sony and Microsoft. Let's be real honest here. It won't make a dent in their bottom line, in all likelihood. The real competition, in my mind, is within its niche. It is an open platform running Linux. In my humble opinion, and yours is of course welcome, its competition is in the smart TV peripheral arena. Specifically, the undisputed heavyweight champion of this particular niche roost, the Nvidia Shield TV. The Shield costs the same at its most expensive as the VCS, around $300, and the Shield is cheaper at entry level. However, the horsepower and support and infrastructure is identical throughout. I'm not even talking about Nvidia's game streaming service, either from users' own gaming PCs on the network or from Nvidia's private servers, or the Nvidia servers regardless. The open platform nature of Android on the Shield and Linux on the VCS means that its niche is going to likely be among the serious, I keep saying serious, the serious tech enthusiast. And without beating around the bush any further, I'm talking about those of us who are into serious emulation capabilities. What it may boil down to in the niche market is which device, the VCS or the Nvidia, can run GameCube or PlayStation 2 emulators better. Nvidia's aging X1 SoC or VCS's AMD APU with R7 graphics and access to 8 gigabytes of shared system RAM. That was a lot of numbers and letters and things that I just shoved at you right there. I'm just saying which is going to be more powerful. We'll see in actual application and efficiency and everything like that. Which can run the heavy emulators better? That's what it might all boil down to for the VCS. And again, the underlying issue with all of this is that we're talking about a very narrow demographic of consumer. Unless the unlikely Hail Mary scenario occurs that the VCS miraculously does well enough to take Sony and Microsoft down a peg or two, its fiercest competition is with the Nvidia Shield. And while the Shield may be doing well in its own right in the shadow of mainstream consoles, is it doing well enough for there to be much profit for the VCS to even cut into in the first place? We'll see. As always, like I said before, your opinions are most certainly welcome. Please be good to each other, including yourself. Embrace your geek thing, your inner geek. And if you're watching on YouTube, maybe consider subscribing. I'm making my march towards 1,000 subs here in 2019. So if you consider subscribing, that would be great. I truly appreciate even the consideration. And maybe tell your friends. I know that you have a lot to choose from on this platform, and you certainly don't have to subscribe to anyone. So that's why I simply truly appreciate even the consideration. If you're listening to the podcast or the broadcast, we'll be right back with more Geek Therapy Radio.